What's up, guys? Ready for another hunt. It's been a couple days since I was able to get out. Just dealing with sickness in the household, so dealing with some sick kids and stuff has kept me out of the woods a little bit these last few days. But it's also been pouring rain for 2 days straight, and this evening it's supposed to let up. Starting about 3 o'clock, it's going to let up and stop raining. It's currently kind of sprinkling right now, but I'm going to use the cover of the rain to get into my tree, get everything set up, and I do have a tree stand umbrella that I'm going to put up just to keep me kind of dry for a little bit, and then I'll probably take it down as it stops raining. But it should be some action tonight. I mean, it's been raining, like I said, for 2 days, and after 2 days of rain, these deer are probably going to want to get up and dry out when it stops raining. So they're probably going to be out in the fields. I've heard some reports of rut activity happening. It is October 30th. So they should be moving already. Going to get out there, get in the stand, hopefully stay dry for the next hour or so while it still has a chance of rain. And then from there, we're going to start hunting and hopefully, catch a big buck. I got a really big buck on camera a couple days ago in the morning, right before shooting light. It was about a little after 7 a.m. Nice buck. I mean, he's probably a 140-inch buck on camera. So we'll see if we can get blessed with one of those big deer. I'm going to rattle. I've actually got some, I usually don't do this, but I bought some estrus doe scent that I'm going to put on a little scent wick thing, and I'm going to actually put it on a thing and walk it back, drag it behind me so it leaves the trail to my tree stand, and then I'm going to hang it in a tree up there. And it's pretty windy today, so that scent should waft out into these fields and stuff. My wind is going about the exact opposite direction that it was going the last time I hunted, which I'm realizing this stand probably sets up better for this wind going out into the field rather than back towards the bedding. So I didn't really think there was a lot of bedding back there, but we had a deer blow right before the end of shooting light last time I hunted. So definitely some deer come out from the woods back in that area to it'll be like kind of behind me where I'm sitting. But I did go ahead and take all my tree stand stuff down last time, so I'm gonna have to set up everything again, which is why I'm kind of in here early. It's 2:34 p.m. so we got lots of time. Some turkeys just hanging out in the field. I'm surprised they haven't flown off yet, but they're just chilling out there, drying off in the field, and we're gonna walk back there and get started. All right, guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We made it in the tree. I'm all set up. It's 3:30 currently. Got in the tree nice and quiet. It was raining the whole time I got in, so I'm a little wet, but it was really good for cover. So I'm in a different tree than I was the last few hunts. I elected to get into the tree that's a lot closer to the field edge. So where that buck came out that I shot is only 25 yards. Exactly where I shot at him is 25 yards from this tree. I'm much more hidden in this tree too. It's a better setup. So I think the deer movement's gonna start early when this rain stops. These deer are gonna get up on their feet. So I'm gonna rattle and I'm gonna grunt multiple times today. I'm actually gonna go ahead and rattle here in a minute as soon as I get done with this interview. So it's raining, so sorry if raindrops get on the lenses or anything, but we're gonna do the best we can, and it should stop raining here within the next 30 minutes. It's supposed to stop completely. So I bet you we're gonna see deer early tonight. I'm all set up. I'm gonna put my release on, and then I'm gonna do a rattling session, and we'll go from there. Thanks for coming along. I went ahead and got this is a little scent wick with doe pee on it, so that's gonna blow out over the fields and out into these draws behind me, which is like out here, all out in here. My scent is blowing out into the field, so it'll be a good cover scent as well as attractant if deer come back there. So hopefully that'll help. That's a great wind. It's going right back into the field, so much better than the last few times. I'm gonna go ahead and rattle as well. Might as well. It's getting to that time these bucks want to fight, so. I'm not totally sure what it is about this hunt, but I feel very confident. It's one of those, those times you just feel like, man, this could really happen. I say that a lot of my hunts, but the weather conditions today are really perfect. I mean, it's been seriously raining for 2 days straight, and today is the first day. This evening it's letting up, 3, 4 o'clock is letting up into the evening. These deer are going to come out anyways in the evening, and it just feels like the bucks will be getting up. One, freshening all their scrapes because it's been raining for 2 days, and then 2, they'll be getting frisky. It's October 30th, so the rut's right here, so they'll be getting up looking for does, getting up, looking for scent, and then they'll also probably be fighting if they run into each other, so the rattling should work great today, but we'll see. I'm going to rattle every 30 or 45 minutes, probably. So I'll probably rattle here in, maybe 20 more minutes I'll rattle again, but I'm excited. It feels so good out here. It's cold. It's like the perfect temperature. It feels like something's going to happen tonight. She's going to get right to my wind. Well, you guys saw that doe. There's a few more behind her coming out. She stepped out and walked kind of out to where my wind is going. Almost exactly where my wind is going. She didn't quite get to where my wind was, but she acted so weird. She smelled something for sure. She turned around and ran back in there, but she didn't blow, which is good. Not too sure what exactly she smelled or what happened. Maybe she smelled the other dopey and she didn't blow because it smelled like a deer, but I don't know. There was our first sighting that was pretty early. It's not even 5:30 yet. It looked like there was at least 3 with her. I couldn't see totally how many there was, but real good start. Well, guys, we got about 40 minutes left. Sun is just about to set. I just grunted again. I rattled at 6 o'clock. Hopefully something will come out here soon. I felt like I've heard movement back in the woods a couple times, so I'd say there's a good chance. I haven't seen any other deer yet, so we'll just have to see, but guys probably can't really see me, but I've had, ever since I started getting set up this morning, there's been a buck walking around all through here grunting. You'll hear him in the video, but I think he's only about 100 yards away right now at most. I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit lighter, and then I'm gonna grunt and see if he comes in. He was at 5 yards, 10 yards at the base of my tree. But it was so dark I couldn't even see his antlers at all. He looked like a pretty good bodied buck, but I don't know if he's a shooter or not. But an interesting morning, to say the least. I can actually still hear him grunting. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit lighter, and then grunt at him a few times and see if he comes back over.
bugs everywhere. You guys saw that nice bug come in right basically to the base of my tree. I put some scent out as I came in today, and I drug a little like scent thing on the ground all the way out to where I'm at now, and then I also have a little scent wick holding Dopey on the tree behind me. But that's the bug that was grunting all morning earlier, and I think he's within 100 yards still. He got to the base of my tree, and had he provided a really good shot, I think I would have taken him. But he was behind my tree at 10 yards, and he smelled something. So he was acting a little weird. And then he worked down, Sorry, I'm not sure if that's a deer or a squirrel, but yeah, he was at the base of my tree. It was just not an easy shot when he was close. And then he worked around, he was still grunting and everything. Then I hear something over to my right, and I look over, and there's another little bug, much smaller, working down the hill. I'm gonna rattle in a second because there's a lot going on out here, and I wanna bring in a big boy. I'm still hearing stuff moving around me. There might be more deer close still. I doe bleeded with my call 2 minutes ago, and I caught that buck over to my left, moving across. He worked up all the way to the base of my tree, and then ran off. He caught a whiff of me, or saw my sticks or whatever. I mean, his nose was like a foot from my first stick down there, so I'm sure he could either see or smell something weird. But he didn't really spook that bad. He kind of just worked off. Another decent buck. When I first saw him over there, I was hoping he was a big boy. That was cool, though. Well, once again, you guys probably can't see me. I had a buck go through again 15 minutes before shooting light. We're a couple minutes out from shooting light right now. That buck came through at like 15 yards, and he was grunting again. So, as soon as it gets to be shooting light, I'm going to grunt a couple times to see if I can pull him back over here. Not sure how great the camera light will be, because it's pretty dark still, but I'll give it a few more minutes, and then I'm going to grunt a couple times. Well, now that it's a little lighter, figured I'd kind of let you guys know what's going on. So, it is sweet November 1st today. We finally made it to November. It actually came really fast. I shouldn't say finally, but yeah, November 1st today. Cool morning, low 40s, and as you guys heard me talking about a minute ago, right up this trail right in front of me, about 15 minutes before shooting light, a buck went through. He was grunting a little bit. It might be that same buck from yesterday, but yeah, worked his way right here, 15 yards, perfect broadside. Had he been a little bit later, I could have seen what he was, but it was just barely too dark to really see his antlers. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Pretty calm, not a lot of wind, and it feels like it's going to be a great morning to call and hopefully bring something in. I'm actually going to wait a little bit later in the morning to rattle. I'm just going to let movement happen and grunt with my grunt call a few times here and there. And then I'll probably rattle a little bit later, but I'm going to let it get a little bit lighter before I start rattling. Yeah, it should be a good morning. It's feeling like the deer should be moving. So, and obviously they were. I already had one in range, so got in clean. Didn't spook any deer. Was in the tree about 45 minutes before shooting light, so all good. I'm excited to see what happens. Wow. What a cool experience. That buck was young too, and he had a 10-point frame. If that buck makes it a few years, he'll be giant. That's the third nice buck that I've let walk in 2 days. It makes you slightly question yourself. But like the real deciding factor for me is maturity. And all of these bucks that I've seen the last few days are not mature bucks. They're really young deer. So even if it's a really small racked buck that's pretty old, I'm gonna take them. If I can tell that they look old. None of these deer have been old. They've all had small bodies. Man, but this spot is on fire right now. I'm not sure if that's the same buck that walked through this morning, but that's a different buck than the other two bucks I saw yesterday. So it's just a matter of time before a big one does that up here. I just heard another buck grunt behind me. Oh yeah. Oh, this looks like a nice buck. That was a pretty nice buck. He was coming in from my right, and I don't know if he caught my wind, or there's a chance he saw me up in the tree here from where he was coming from. I never got any video of him because he was down in the thick stuff and on the opposite side of my tree. It may have been the same buck that came in early yesterday, but it looked like a nice framed buck. I mean, I would have had to see him a little closer to know how I would shoot him, but he looks nice. But he worked his way up this hill over here. Not sure if you can hear all the squirrels alarming, but something set them off and all the squirrels started running up the trees and doing their alarm call. Ah, I see. It's a hawk. It just landed in the tree right here. That makes sense. That's why they're all calling. Did you hear it? Wow, that was cool. That's so cool.
Well, it was a fun hunt, guys, but gonna call it a day for today. Get back home. We saw those 2 bucks, so that was pretty awesome. Gonna get back out. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I'll be at church and stuff. Not gonna get out tomorrow. But Monday and Tuesday I'm off. Probably gonna get out both those mornings. And I think we'll have a real good chance of getting one down in the next couple days. So stick with me and we'll hopefully put a buck down for you.
Good morning, guys. Thought I'd go ahead and do an interview because I want to do a couple grunt calls and see if anything comes in. It is November 3rd. Got in nice and early. I did jump one deer out on this ridge as I came in. That was about 40 minutes ago or so. So it should be calm enough now. But yeah, excited for this morning. I think we'll have a real good chance for a cruising buck to come through. I'm going to call a couple times here in a minute as it gets light and see if anything comes in, and then we're going to hunker down and sit for a while. But thanks for coming along. Excited to hunt this morning. It's a crispy, cool morning. It's like 38 degrees right now, so nice and cool. I think these bucks will be on their feet. Well, this is the latest. The crows. This is the latest we've gone without seeing deer. The last few hunts. The last few hunts I've had bucks under me, like at shooting light, so a little bit slower morning. Haven't seen a deer. Busted that one deer when I walked in. Not sure if it was a buck or doe, but that deer ran off, to the next ridge, and then was standing on the next ridge blowing. So that could be part of the reason we're not seeing anything. But gonna just sit here and enjoy the sounds and sights of nature while I wait for a big buck to come in. But I feel like it could either be really slow or really crazy during the rut. It just depends on the day. It depends on where you're sitting. But hopefully this will end up being a good hunt, not just sitting in a tree. But I'm enjoying it either way, so. was a nice buck. I don't know if I should have shot him or not. I had my bow in my hand and everything. He wouldn't really stand still broadside, but that buck was going down across the bottom down here, and I just caught a glimpse of him down there, so I grunted at him one time. And when I grunted, he instantly picked his head up and then started coming right up the hill, right to me. He was here at 15 yards. And, I mean, he had a pretty decent rack on him, 8-point rack. Had a decent amount of mass, but he still looked like a younger buck. He was not a big old buck. So, I had my bow in my hand because I was on the fence if I was going to shoot him or not. And he came up here and was, 15 yards. I couldn't decide if I was going to shoot him or not, but he was moving a lot, so I never really had a good, perfect broadside shot where he just stood there. But yeah, pretty cool. That's a nice buck. That's the 6th buck that I've seen up here on this ridge in like 3 days. I think it's a good spot to catch a big one. But that was awesome. So cool to have him in that close. My wind was honestly going kind of towards him. I don't know why, but my wind is kind of shifting back and forth. So that's not the best wind, but obviously it worked okay for him. That was cool though. There went another buck. Man, he was cruising. He was looking for does. I just got a glimpse of him running through the bottom over here to my right, and he worked his way over. And I grunted at him. He was right down here. And he went, obviously, to try to get downwind of me. He never smelled me, but he worked up to about 35 yards, 40 yards in the thick stuff back there. And then he worked across here. Nice little buck. I think that might have been that 10-point, that young 10-point we filmed the other day. But yeah, that's a nice little buck. Not one I'd shoot personally. He's just too young. He looks really young, but I think he's got a nice frame for what he is. He's gonna get big if he lives. little adrenaline from that buck. The buck earlier that came right in, I was shaking like crazy.
Well, guys, we made it back to the truck. Called the hunt. I got out of there. It's about 11 o'clock now. Had those 2 bucks go through. It's been a crazy last few hunts. I've seen so much buck action back on this ridge. Coming back out tomorrow, so I'll be back out in the morning. Gonna probably end out this video here because I have a ton of stuff to share with you guys, different video of bucks and everything, but up to this point, and then we'll probably start, you know, the next video. Hopefully we'll have a kill on it, have a buck kill, but yeah, there's been really good hunts. These last few, I've seen 7 bucks, I think 7 different buck encounters in the last 3 hunts, so that's pretty good. And all of them have been decent bucks. The one I saw today was, man, I grabbed my bow and everything. I was borderline about to shoot that buck, but he just looked young. He had pretty good mass on his antlers, but his body just looked young. He looked like a 3-year-old deer or something. So hoping for something bigger and older, something more mature, but we'll see. I may have made a mistake, but appreciate you guys coming along and watching this video, all the different buck encounters we've had so far up to this point, and look forward to hopefully showing a buck encounter where I'm actually holding his antlers in front of you. But appreciate you guys coming along, and we'll see you in the next video.